A graph can generally be represented as G with two entities, that is capital V, which is the set of all vertices, and capital E, which is the set of all edges. And then vertices where capital V is the set of all vertices up till Vn, and capital E is the set of all edges from E1, E2 till EM, maybe whatever the number of edges we have in the graph. And the rule is that an edge E can only exist between two vertices Vi and Vj. So these are the rules that we have in order to define a graph. That is, it will have vertices, it will have edges, such that each edge will only exist between two vertices. Now the graph that you can see on the screen over here is what we call a simple graph. Simple graphs are going to have conditions. That is, it's not going to have loops. That is, having an edge of a node with itself. In other words, I cannot be equal to j if we have a simple graph. Secondly, it's not going to have multiple edges between two vertices. For example, D and C already have an edge, so we are not going to have second and third edge between these two nodes. No multiple edges between same pair of vertices. So if that is the case, we can call it a simple graph. Otherwise, it's not going to be a simple graph. For most of the research, simple graphs are being used because graph processing is already expensive, and if it's not a simple graph, that is going to make it computationally more expensive. Apart from this, the graph, as we can already see, has to be an undirected graph, which can also be seen as a bidirectional graph because this edge between A and B can be traversed from A to B or from B to A. So the graph has to be undirected in case of a simple graph. Finally, it has to be an unweighted graph. That is, we are not supposed to have any weights associated with these edges. Weights may be important as we will discuss them in the coming lectures, but for a graph to be a simple graph, it has to be unweighted, which means that all these edges are bearing the same weight, which is 1. So these are the 4 rules that is going to help in defining a simple graph.